What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we were supposed to work on the CRV, but the clutch didn't show up yesterday. The tracking number didn't update at all, but it did today. But since they didn't deliver on the weekends, it's supposed to show up tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll continue with the B16, and hopefully we can get the whole shenanigan put together to go back into the car so we can further make progress. Now, to put you guys up on the timeline, today is WeekFest San Jose 2026, and it's actually going on right now. I debated this morning if I wanted to go, but realistically, I don't care enough to attend. All the homies and everybody's over there right now having a good time, and I'm just over here trying to find something to do. So I figured while we are waiting for the clutch to still show up, I want to dive into the B20 that came out of this car. Now, I should have bought a coolant pressure tester and pressurized the cooling system so we can see down the cylinder if there's any coolant pushing through the block, the head, or the head gasket. But we're at this point now that, you know, I didn't have the tool. I didn't want to go buy the tool. We didn't do the test, and we're just going to dive into it just to keep me busy. We just want to figure out if the head gasket let go. We'll know by, you know, the coating on the head gasket itself. I want to know if I put the head gasket upside down, because that's a possibility. Head bolts can be loose, so that's like an indication that it might have backed out or stripped a thread or something. I torqued it to specification with the extra 2 or 3 pounds of torque, but that shouldn't have hurt it. I want to know if there's a crack in the cylinder. I want to know if there's a crack in the cylinder head, but we won't really know until we dive into it. So I figured let's do that. So I'm gonna move everything out of the way, get that sucker out here, and let's pull that cylinder head off. There's a scratch on my screen. I'm gonna remove the head bolts right now, and we're gonna see if it's loose. I don't have one of those torque bars where you can reverse torque to see how much torque it takes to break the bolt loose, so we're just gonna use the breaker bar. They all feel to have about the same amount of tension. The torque specs for the B20 head bolts aren't, it's not much. It's not a lot. Nothing unusual with the head bolts. No threads are pulled. They're all lubricated too. Ain't no fucking way, dude. Guys, before I even show you brand new head gasket, brand new resurfaced cylinder head, and the car only drove about, give or take, 40 miles. 40 miles, and I just pulled off the cylinder head, and look at this. Chinese head gasket, Chinese head bolts. Look at the head gasket. Yo, this thing didn't even hold about. You can see it lifting. Look at that. It's lifting. Ain't no freaking way. Ain't no freaking way. Brand new. It started rusting already. Look at that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Hold on. Dude, it's like glued. It's like glued to the block. Look at this. Ain't no freaking way. Ain't no freaking way. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. See, the hunch was real. The hunch definitely led to the head gasket, and I told the homie from the very beginning, the head gasket and the head bolt is my most concerning thing, and he told me to send it. And here we are with this predicament, dude. Are you kidding me? No mother's way. That is crazy, guys. I gotta make some phone calls. I'm gonna take some videos for some shorts and some Instagram posts real quick, and and we're gonna rotate the crank to see if there's any cracks on the sleeves, because I don't think that's our problem. I think this right here was our problem. All the cam caps, cam shafts, valve cover, intake manifold components reinstalled back onto the cylinder head, except the distributor, the head bolts, wire holders, timing cover, dowel pin. I'm gonna put all that in a box when I return all this back to Eric. But the head is upside down right now because I want to test the straightness of the cylinder head surface with a true aluminum straight edge. So this head was rebuilt. Obviously, if you guys didn't see the very beginning of this car on the channel, we sent the head off to get rebuilt. It has new intake valves, it has new seals, it had been resurfaced, and we reinstalled everything onto that short block and all the shenanigans in between that led us back here. I want to make sure that the head is straight so we don't have to send it back to the machine shop, because realistically this car didn't drive hot. It drove 30 miles and it got hot when he pulled up to his pad, and the car sat until it got towed back over here. And we ran the engine a couple of times to kind of mimic whatever was going on with the car, got the coolant to bubble out of the reservoir and the cap, but we didn't run it hot to where the gauge was like H, right? So I'm almost certain the head should be straight, but we'll find out with this. We're gonna do the block as well too, because if this is getting super hot, that probably would too. I don't think the block is warped, but we're gonna check it real quick. I want to check out the cylinder walls. I don't see any cracks in here whatsoever on all the cylinders. It looks okay other than age, right? Not too shabby. I'm almost certain that if the deck are straight between the block and the cylinder head, this thing would just need a new head gasket and it'll be a good running motor again, because this was a running motor. It ran, it drove to the point where, you know, it started bubbling out of the cooling system, but it ran. And we do have another head gasket, and I do trust Felpro over Amazon Special any day, and I've always copper sprayed it for a turbo setup. If you guys remember the B2D days, everybody had Felpro. Everybody had half a can of copper spray and it helped boost no problem. So cylinder looks good for the most part. I already took some photos and everything for my reference, but let's do the straight edge test real quick. Back in the days when I heard straight edge, I literally used a regular ruler and tried to do this test, and it was like all warped. until I realized that there's an actual straight edge tool that you use to do this process. So what you do is you pretty much measure 3 points on the head, top, middle, bottom, diagonal, both ways, and the FSM says the max warpage it could have is 0.02 of an inch, 0.002. If it's between 0.002 to 0.0, I think it's 0.08 of an inch, the head's warped, it needs to resurface. So I'm gonna start off right at 2, because if it slips into 2, then it'll let me know something about that area is allowing the 0.002 to go through, and then we'll check with a different size. This is really freaking tiny. So real quick, let's run through this. Start at the very top, dowel pin to dowel pin. Does not go in at all. Down to the middle. Down to the bottom. Diagonal, dowel pin to dowel pin hole. And I'm trying to shove it in there too, so it looks good. Go the other way. Cylinder head looks good all the way, every angle. And I'm actually gonna go smaller. I'm gonna go to, what do I have on here? I have 20025. 20025. I don't even know how to read that, to be honest with you guys. 20025. Yeah, that does not go in at all. So our warpage looks pretty, I mean, not warpage. Cylinder surface looks pretty straight for the most part. All right, so let's go ahead and test the block. Start at the top, hold the hole. 2. Okay. Looking good. Go down to the middle. I think that's middle. Looking good. Looking good. Very slight snug on the 2 in the center right here. Huh. Try 3. A 3 doesn't fit, but a 2 barely. It's like right at the tip before it starts moving the straight edge. Maybe it's just dirty because there's still a little crud on the surface. Looking good. Looking good. Move down to the bottom. Looking good. Looking good. Alrighty, let's go diagonal, hole to hole. Gucci on the sleeve. Looking, see, that one caught the very tip. But if it did that, it's obviously I'm shoving it in there. But do it again. Pretty snugged. Pretty good. Pretty good. I don't think the deck is too bad. Granted, it's still got a lot of composite on here, but so far not too crazy concerning. Looking good, looking Gucci. I think the deck is pretty good too. Yeah, so deck looks good on the block and the cylinder head. I mean, realistically, this thing might just need a new head gasket, and I think it'd be a good long block to run again. But I guess at this point, this is just a spare long block to him now. So we're gonna continue on with the B16 when the clutch shows up. This car is filthy. If you guys saw the last video, the homie Henry from P1 sent me this bracket to modify for him, and I said that I was gonna send him mine, but then I was like, wait a minute, I need to move the car here first and use my bracket as the reference to modify this one. So because we have some time and we can squeeze it into today's video, we're gonna modify this bracket right here so we can ship it out tomorrow, or at least I'm hoping tomorrow. So this is a Housport cable to hydro conversion actuator setup for hydro transmission in the EF chassis, utilizing the factory clutch cable. Now he has an EF1, which is a right hand drive EF hatch. I have an EF2 sedan model, and we both are retaining our factory clutch cable. Now this clutch cable is much shorter than the USDM because obviously on the left hand it goes all the way around to the trans, where this one just goes from the firewall straight over, but it's too short. So what I had to do with mine was I chopped, modified, shortened, shifted, and moved this thing around, re-welded it so we can make it work with the right hand drive clutch cable. Hard to explain, hard to see, but I'm gonna pop mine off right there on top of the transmission, and I'm gonna show you guys the difference in the bracket that I modified. So this right here is my bracket. It was a little tricky to take off because my battery and the battery tray is still in the car, so it was kind of in the way to get to the 12mm bolts right here on the transmission. But this is how the Housport bracket looks like when you buy it. This is mine that's modified to give me more adjustment for the right hand drive clutch cable. So pretty much all I'm trying to do here is mimic my bracket. It's not going to be identical because I don't have the template anymore. I remember making this out of cardboard and then cutting the bracket accordingly and then tacking it in place, throw it on the car, see how it fits. If it fits good, weld it all the way through. If it doesn't fit well, trim a little bit more off. But I can kind of see that these two pieces is one unit cut off of here, and then this little earpiece, I'm sure I can somehow transfer that over, right? Pretty straightforward, I think. Maybe. So let's figure something out. Hopefully this tape is a good enough template of where to cut on the virgin bracket. I got the hole marked out right there too. All right guys, so we have the second piece traced out right there, transferred over with masking tape from here, because you can see the weld line. So I kind of guesstimated it and transferred it over. Let me see, so something like that, give or take. And I'm using the hole as reference, so you can see I used permanent marker on the backside. So that's our rough outline of the two piece that we're gonna modify to get this one here. Okay guys, so I think we have our final cuts here. Main piece that holds the clutch cable in place. This one right here is the tab that bolts this entire unit onto the transmission. This is going to go on buttered up right here at the bottom, so that's going to sit something like that, right? And what I'm doing differently between this one and mine is that this bracket originally has a tab for a pre-threaded hole for a 10mm ground for your transmission, which is this guy here. So I'm adding this piece back on in this corner, right, because it originally sat like over here somewhere. So I'm gonna add this piece back in just to be able to utilize it for a ground strap. So I'm gonna weld it like that. So this is our mod for the hydro conversion from Halfsport. Let me go tack it up, double fit it, triple check it, and fully weld it up. Quick little test fit on the bracket before I burn it completely through. Hopefully you guys can see this, but the bracket tacked up into place, not fully bolted down, but fully seated against the transmission. And two reasons why we had to modify this. One, if you remember, this holder for the cable used to sit at the top of the bracket right here. And if you kind of calculate the knob and the rubber max at the top to be able to fit into the holder, you'll be maxed out on the cable adjustment. So one, we had to bring it down to be able to get this inch of extra thread to adjust the cable tension and engagement, and two, to be able to angle the bracket down to kind of get away from this angle that goes to the actuator. So when you tighten this up a little bit more, because right now it's loose, it'll straighten up the cable a lot. You guys see that? So that's why we got to do this for the Ride and Drive EF guys that are retaining their cable on a Hydro B series swap. And also on the back side, it's kind of hard to see, but we have a clear shot of the tab for the ground strap. So that looks like it's in a good spot as well too. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and burn this bracket all the way through, guys. And I'm gonna send this original bracket back to Henry and keep my original modified one for this car. So I just finished deburring the bracket, got it fully welded up, got all the edges cleaned up so there's no sharp edges or like cuts from the grinder that can snag a skin or something. And this thing should be ready for some fresh paint and installed into Henry's EF1. Now, this thing is very toxic because it's galvanized coated, and I grinded it the areas where I need to weld, but the heat, you know, dispersed, like kind of lifted that galvanized, and it created that white powder, and that's something you do not want to breathe in. So every time I was making a bead, I literally held my breath, and I do it a lot too. I hold my breath like Even when I grind with the diamond wheel for the tungsten, you're not supposed to breathe any of this stuff in. It's really bad for your lungs. But anyways, bracket should be ready to go back to Henry. I'll ship it out tomorrow. And I just came out here today to stay busy, guys. Weekfest after meet was pretty cracking. I've been watching on the Instagram story. It's pretty cracking, but it got shut down. Very typical out here, and I already knew that. And if I was gonna go, I was just gonna mob the minivan, but you know, I got other things to take care of. So we made progress here in the garage regardless of the fact, and I'm stoked about it because, you know, I wanted to take care of this for Henry because I know he's been eager to drive his whip. But this will be out tomorrow, guys, and realistically, I came out here to just stay busy. So we did just that. We tore into the B20. We found out the motor itself is still pretty good, I'm sure. The head gasket is shot, and if Eric wants to later down the road put a head gasket on it, I'm more than willing to go and help him do it instead of hauling it back over here because he lives pretty far. But